Achsah's testimony.
I am Achsah, daughter of Caleb, a man of great courage and faith, who stood beside Joshua when others doubted. My story is not filled with battles or miracles, but rather a lesson in boldness, inheritance, and knowing your worth in God's eyes. My story shows I did not settle for less. I believed in the Lord's goodness that I could ask abundantly more for me and my family. I grew up watching my father, Caleb, fight for the land God had promised us. His faith never wavered, even when others gave in to fear. I admired his strength and resolve, and as his daughter, I knew he wanted the best for me. When the time came for me to marry, my father made a declaration that stirred both pride and uncertainty in my heart. He promised me in marriage to whoever captured Kiriath-Sepher, a city that was a stronghold in the land. Many men might have been intimidated by such a challenge, but Othniel stepped forward. He wasn't just a warrior, he was a man of honor, courage, and faith, much like my father. Othniel seized the city, and soon after I became his wife. I admired Othniel's bravery and devotion to God, but as I settled into this new life, something began to weigh on me. My father had given us land, but it was in the Negev, a dry and arid region. It was a gift, but without water, it would be difficult to build a life there, to grow and to prosper. I knew that without water, our inheritance would not reach its full potential. I had always known my father to be a man of generosity and faith, and I believed he would understand my concerns. But it wasn't easy. I was a woman, and in our culture it was uncommon for a woman to make requests. I could have stayed silent, accepting the land as it was, but something inside me knew I had to speak up, for my future and for my family. With my husband's support, I went to talk to my father. I asked him for a favor. This took all the courage I had. I asked him for springs of water in addition to the land he had already given us. As I talked to my father, my heart raced. I was unsure of his response, but Caleb, my father, didn't hesitate. He granted my request, giving me both the upper and lower springs. He saw the need, and he met it without question. In that moment, I learned something profound, not just about my father, but about God. We serve a God who doesn't just give us land, but also the means to prosper on that land. He doesn't just provide the bare minimum. He gives abundantly when we come to him with boldness and faith. I could have accepted the land as it was. I could have stayed silent, fearful of asking for more. But I knew the inheritance I had been given could be so much more with the right resources. And I believed that God, through my father, would provide. I asked, and I received. Looking back, I realize my story is not just about land or water. It's about knowing your worth, understanding the fullness of God's provision, and being bold enough to ask for what you need to flourish. Too often we settle for less than what God has for us, thinking we shouldn't ask for more, thinking we don't deserve it. But God invites us to come to him, to ask, and to trust that he will provide all we need.
Achsah's story shows us that God honors bold, humble faith even when we're afraid. You don't have to be perfect to ask. Your heavenly Father delights to bless his children. What's holding you back from asking?